Okay, Shalom Aleichem everybody. We're going to learn the third Sikhe in Parshas Pekudei, which is in Chelek Yud Aleph. This is a Hashlome of Parshas Pekudei, the Sikhe that we did not learn in the week of Pekudei, where actually this year was Vayakal Pekudei together. It's a Sikhe that talks about the setting up of the Mishkan, the putting up the Mishkan on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So it's connected to these days as well, in Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and then there's the Karbanis of the Nisim that we say every day in connection to the putting up of the Mishkan for the first time. And the Sikhe is also connected to another Sikhe that we learned a few weeks ago in Parshas Truma, where it brings the Machlokes of the Rambam and the Ramban, what was the main purpose and what was the main definition of the mitzvah to build the Mishkan. So, which is from the Farbrengen of Yud Shvat, Tav Shel Lamed Beis. Very geschmack Sikhe here. Let's begin inside. Ala pasik vayihi b'chodesh harishon b'shana shenis be'echad lachodesh hukam Mishkan. On Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the second year after the Eden left Mitzrayim, the Mishkan was put up. So the expression of the pasuk is hukam, which means it was set up. The Mishkan was set up as if it happened on its own. Isa b'medrash v'huva b'pirish Rashi. So it says in the Medrash, and Rashi quotes this earlier on. The Ma'ashanema hukam Mishkan. This that the Torah uses the expression of hukam. Shemizem mashmasha Mishkan hukam me'elov. That the Mishkan was set up on its own. It doesn't say hey Kim, someone set it up. Hukam, it was set up. Ki kol Yisrael hayachalon la'akimai. All the Klal Yisrael, if any individual tried to put up the Mishkan, it was impossible. Machmas kaved akroshim, because the kroshim were extremely heavy. Even Moshe Rabbeinu could also not set up the Mishkan. So the Eibusher says to Moshe, Asayik biyotcha, you busy yourself with your hands. And it appears as if you are setting it up. And the kroshim will rise up on its own. And I will write in the Torah that you set up the Mishkan. The Mishkan was set up. And who is the one that set it up? Moshe. Moshe set it up. The pasuk in the next pasuk says that Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that set up the Mishkan. So this is the pshat of hukam here. It was so heavy, and therefore Moshe Rabbeinu, he had to do the action. It should appear that he's putting it up, and the Eibishter really is the one that put up the Mishkan. So the Rebbe asks the following question. Later on in the Medrash it says, V'chein hu b'pirish Rashi, and Rashi quotes this in Parshas Shmini as well. All the 7 days of Yimei HaMiluim, shetchilasan b'chav Gimel B'Adar, which begins in Chav Gimel Adar, before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, for a week before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, every single day, Moshe Rabbeinu set up the Mishkan and would take it down by the end of the day. Why don't we have the same question over here? That it was impossible for anybody to put up the Mishkan because of the heaviness of the kroshim. So how did Moshe Rabbeinu put up the Mishkan and take it down every single day of the Shivas Yimei HaMiluim? A very obvious question on this Medrash that says that on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Eibishter puts it up for Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu was just doing the action with his hands. So the Rebbe first will show us a machlokes between the between Rashi and the Ramban, that is, regarding putting up the Mishkan for the Shivas Yimei HaMiluim. What's the source for this? Where does it say in the Torah that the Mishkan should be put up in the Shivas Yimei HaMiluim? The reason Moshe Rabbeinu puts up the Mishkan in these days of the Yimei HaMiluim, even though the Eibusher clearly tells him that the Mishkan should be put up on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So where did Moshe Rabbeinu take this from, that in the Shivas Yimei HaMiluim he should be putting up the Mishkan every day? This Bible, it's explained elsewhere, Barichis, and we're going to learn the Sikhe Metzah Shem Chelek Yud Beis, Parshas Shmini. Deyes Rashi v'Ramban b'zeh, that this is an argument between Rashi and the Ramban regarding where Moshe Rabbeinu took this from. Haramban Kosav, the Ramban in Parshas Pekudei here says, Ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu amalei mitchila. If you look at the command, when the Eibusha tells Moshe Rabbeinu to put up the Mishkan, so you can divide it into two different commands. One is, the Eibusha first tells him, Kaidim Zayin Yimei Miluim, before the Shivas Yimei Miluim begins, Va'ki Moisa es HaMishkan, Ki Mishpatoi, Asher Hareisa Bahar. Put up the Mishkan with all the halachas like you've been shown on the mountain. That's one command. And then, so that, according to the Ramban, refers to putting up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. Then the Eibusha tells him again that on the first day, the Chodesh Nisan, that's when you should put up the Mishkan. On the Chodesh Nisan, the Mishkan is being put up and it's being established to remain there permanently. So now I'll put up and taken down every day like it was in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. So from this Moshe Rabbeinu understood that in the days of the Miluim, from Chav Gimel Adar until Chav Tes Adar, Moshe Rabbeinu puts it up and takes it down every day, and only the Chodesh Nisan is it put up permanently. So these are the two psukim where Moshe Rabbeinu took the command of the Eibishter that it's two separate things. Put it up in Shivas Yimei Miluim and put it up in the Chodesh Nisan. This is the Ramban. How about Rashi? Does Rashi agree to this? Rashi does not come and clarify that when the Torah says, put up the Mishkan, that this is a new command, that the meaning of the word tokim is to put it up permanently, that it should remain standing. So Rashi does not take the pasuk out of the simple pshat. So mashma, the Svira lay Rashi holds that Pirish Shabayayim HaChodesh Erishein Tokim Es HaMishkan. When the Torah says that on the Chodesh Nisan the Mishkan should be put up, Hulai Shabayayim Zeh Tia Kamosei Lamda. This is not a second command. That besides the Mishkan that was put up and down every day in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, it should also be put up permanently on a Chodesh Nisan. Elo, rather, according to Rashi, Kipshutai. The pshat here is Bepashtus. That putting up the Mishkan the first time should be on this day. That's all. This is the only command, to put up the Mishkan on the Chodesh Nisan. Rashi doesn't divide it into two separate mitzvahs. So what's the pshat with the two psukim that the Ramban brings according to Rashi? When the Torah says that the Mishkan is going to be put up, should be put up on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, it's not a second mitzvah. On the previous pasuk where it says that the Mishkan should be put up, Kepirish Ramban, like the Ramban divides it. The second pasuk is just coming to reveal and clarify pshat in the first pasuk. First the Torah says the mitzvah to put up the Mishkan, then the Torah says when this mitzvah should be fulfilled. The fulfillment of this mitzvah is by Yom HaChodesh Erishin B'Echad HaChodesh, on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So both of them are talking about the same thing, putting up the Mishkan on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. That's according to Rashi. So according to Rashi, from where did Moshe Rabbeinu know to put up the Mishkan in Shivas Yimei Miluim? There was no mitzvah. He was never told to do this. According to Rashi, this, that Moshe Rabbeinu put up the Mishkan before the Chodesh Nisan, he was never commanded clearly to do so. He learned it from the fact that he had the mitzvah to be mechanech, to train the Kohanim in their Avodah for 7 days. The chinuch has to be done there in the place, in the Mishkan, where their permanent Avodah is going to be. So from that he understood that he has to put up the Mishkan. And another detail, Moshe Rabbeinu learned this from this, that it says clearly regarding the chinuch of the Shivas Yimei Miluim, Shekol Zayin Yimei Miluim Yiyu Pesach Oyel Moed, that the Avodah in those days should be done at the Pesach of Oyel Moed. So it clearly says that you have to have the Oyel Moed put up. So without having a befedish tzivui, he knew that he has to put up the Mishkan in these 7 days. So that's the difference between Rashi and the Ramban. According to the Ramban, there are two psukim. One tells us to put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. The other tells us to put up the Mishkan in the Chodesh Nisan. Mashenken, according to Rashi, there's no befeidish mitzvah to put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. Moshe Rabbeinu understood it from the mitzvah of the chinuch of the kain that has to be done Pesach Hayom Mayid, so he understood that the Mishkan has to be put up. So the Rebbe gets back to our original question. Al pizeh, so now, bishleim l'das Ramban, it would be well understood according to the Ramban, shal hamodas ha-mishkan b'zayin yimei ha-miluim hoya tzivu miyuchad. Just like regarding putting up the Mishkan on a Chodesh Nisan, there was a mitzvah. Putting up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, it was also, he was commanded to do so. If so, Ef Shalom, it would be possible to say, at least b'deichik you could say so, the Gamal Zeh, since there was a mitzvah for this, for the Shivas Yimei Miluim, just like on a Chodesh Nisan, just like the Medrash says regarding the Chodesh Nisan, that he had a special koyach of the Eibishter to be able to put up the Mishkan, the same applies to the Shivas Yimei Miluim. The Gamzeh Nichlal, B'meshu Hukam Me'elov. This as well is included in this, that the Pasuk says that it was put up on its own with the koyach of the Eibishter. This is according to the Ramban, that he had a befeidish mitzvah, so it makes sense to say, at least b'doichik, that it's included in this koyach, the special koyach that the Eibishter gives him. Rashi, however, according to Rashi, putting up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, there was no tzivui at all. He just did it on his own. He understood that this is the right thing to do because of the chinuch of the kaina, but there was no tzivui. So it doesn't make sense to say that when he put up the Mishkan in those days, it's included in what it says regarding the Chodesh Nisan, where he had a tzivui befeidish to put it up then. If so, our question comes back, where did Moshe Rabbeinu have the koyach? Although the kroshim were so heavy, to put up the kroshim in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. So the Rebbe says the answer is as follows. So first the Rebbe will explain what's unique about the day of Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Ha'iloi sheb Rosh Chodesh Nisan. What's unique and special about this day? Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Yom Hashmini LaMiluim, the 8th day of Miluim. U'sha'az haya ukveid Hashem maliyas HaMishkan. It wasn't just another day, it wasn't just the 8th day, but this is the day that Eibishter's glory filled the Mishkan. The Sha'as HaBeshchina, the Ashras HaShchina, the dwelling of the Shchina takes place on this day. Mashen came, b'zayim yimei ha-miluim, which is not the case in the other Shivas Yimei Miluim. Lo Sha'as HaBeshchina. The Shechina did not dwell in the Mishkan. It was just the chinuch of the Kainim, but there was no Ashras HaShechina. Das Rashi move on bepashtos. According to Rashi, we could simply understand this fact that the Shechina did not dwell in the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. Af shenema v'asuli mikdash. The Torah does say, the Eibishter commands Yidden, if you build me a mikdash, v'shachanti b'seichem, I will dwell in the Mishkan. So when they put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, why did the Shechina not dwell in the Mishkan? Shashras HaShechina v'shachanti b'seichem tluya ach v'rak b'asiyas ha'kamas HaMishkan. To bring the Shechina, you just have to build a Mishkan b'vasali mikdash. So what happened here in the Shivas Yimei Miluim? Ki ha-Mishkan shehamid b'Shivas Yimei Miluim. The Mishkan that was put up for those days was not really about putting up the Mishkan. It was not about putting up the structure of the Mishkan to bring the Shechina in it. It was a detail, a necessary detail, to have the place where the Avodah will be done in the future, to be able to do the chinuch for them there. This was not setting up the Mishkan. This was not about bringing the Shechina to the Mishkan. It was just setting up the place where they're going to practice and do the chinuch for the Avodah that they're going to be doing in the future. So therefore the Shechina does not dwell there at that time. This is according to Rashi, so it's simply understood there was no tzivui to put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, so the Shechina does not dwell there. It's just a prat in the chinuch of Aaron and his children. Gam l'das Ramban, even according to the Ramban's opinion, shegam hakamosa b'zayin Yimei Miluim hoisa. So even when they put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, what was this? Ki amale batchila v'akemoisa sa Mishkan kemishpateh sharareisa bahar. This is the first tzivui, to put it up in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. So really there was a befeidish tzivui to put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim. However, even according to the Ramban, Harei Mefarish, the Ramban says, She'ulai Hoya kela hargal alavim b'maseyu. The purpose of this tzivui was, like Rashi says, just to accustom the Leviim, to train them in their Avodah. So this is true even according to the Ramban, that this was the objective of putting up the Mishkan in those days. The Mishkan being put up then is just a detail in having the place to train the Kohanim, or the Leviim. Or the Ramban then continues, this was to make the day of Rosh Chodesh Nisan unique and special, in the sense that you can have the Mishkan put up before, and the Mishkan being put up before is going to be temporary, it's going to go up and down, and then what's going to be unique on Rosh Chodesh Nisan is that the Mishkan is going to be put up permanently. It's going to be put up and it's going to remain there, and that's where the Shekhinah will dwell. Hainu, meaning, what do we see from the words of the Ramban? At least according to the Rebbe is going to focus now on the Oy, on the second shot of the Ramban. The difference between the Mishkan being put up for the Shiva Simei Miluim and the Mishkan being put up on the 8th day on a Chodesh Nisan, although there was a mitzvah, there was a tzivui for both of them, but the difference is, this could be compared to the difference that there is between the Mishkan, Shohaya Dira Sarai. The Mishkan, generally speaking, was considered to be a Dira Sarai. It was not a permanent place where the Eibush dwelled. They went from one location to another. The pasuk that's brought regarding this is Ve'eya mishalach ba'oil, that the Eibush travels along with Yidden in a tent which is temporary. Lebeis HaMikdash Shohaya Diras Kvash Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Beis HaMikdash, which is established in a place in Yerushalayim, and that is the permanent place where the Eibush dwells. So just like there's that general difference between the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash, similarly regarding the Mishkan itself, there's a difference between the Mishkan being put up in the Shiva Simei Miluim and the Mishkan being put up in Yom HaShmini on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Shiva Simei Miluim was temporary because it was taken down every single day, and then from Rosh Chodesh Nisan onward, the Mishkan was put up and remained up until the time they had to travel, so it was much more permanent. So since the permanence of the Mishkan is only starting from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, so therefore the Shekhinah does not dwell in the Mishkan until the 8th day on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And the Ha'ara, the Rebbe points out that on Rosh Chodesh Nisan itself, when they put up the Mishkan, the Shekhinah didn't immediately dwell in the Mishkan. And the Rebbe says, the emphasis, the Torah says, Va'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'soicham. As soon as you put up the Mishkan, the Shekhinah dwells. That's what the mitzvah is. So l'chayre, when they put up the Mishkan on the 8th day, the Shekhinah should have rested, came immediately. So what happened? Why did they have to wait? And there was karbanis they had to bring, and there was the Moshe and Aaron had to go in and daven for the Shekhinah to come down. So the Rebbe says that it was a meniyat dodis because of the Maisa Egel. The complete kapara of the Egel wasn't completed, so therefore you had to have those karbanis, and the Rebbe's medayik this in Arashi. But really, on the Yom HaShmini, on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Mishkan is put up, and that's the day that the Shekhinah comes right away to dwell in the Mishkan. So now that we understand what's unique about Rosh Chodesh Nisan, this is the day that the Shekhinah comes to dwell in the Mishkan. So therefore we can now understand, going back to our question before regarding putting up the Mishkan, that Moshe Rabbeinu could not put up the Mishkan. Hine, the Rebbe gives another short introduction here. Yechudai shel Yom HaChes. What's unique about the 8th day on Rosh Chodesh Nisan? Ma'lasei legabe Shiva Simei Miluim. The Maila that it has regarding the Shiva Simei Miluim. So we just said that the Maila is that this is the day that the Shekhinah dwells in the Mishkan. This Maila mizbata bekama in Yonim Shebiyayim Zeh. It's not only that one fact, which is a major thing, obviously, that the Shekhinah dwells in the Mishkan, but it expresses itself in other details that happened on this day as well. K'may merazal, as it says in the Medrash, Ubaloshim Pirish Rashi, and Rashi quotes this as well. Asher hukam ha-mishkan boi bayoim v'notal eser atores. This day, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Mishkan was put up, and 10 crowns were taken on this day. There were 10 different special things that happened on this day. So we see that the Shekhinah coming down on this day into the Mishkan has an effect on different things as well. Not only the fact that the Shekhinah comes down. If there's so many things, 10 things that are affected on this day as a result of the Shekhinah coming into the Mishkan, pshita, if so, it's obvious, shetzarech li es chilok ba'oifen hakamas ha-Mishkan atzmai. So there should be a difference also regarding the setting up of the Mishkan itself, that the way it was set up on the 7th day and the way it was set up on the 8th day is not the same. Not only regarding the fact that on the 7 days it went up and down, up and down. The actual putting up the Mishkan, the action of putting up the Mishkan was not the same on the 8th day as it was on all of the other 7 days. What's the difference? Now, with the following point. Aleph, number one, the simple point, a simple practical fact, Yudua al dvar hakomas kama v'kama binyonim ba'avonim gedolos v'chulu. We know and we see many buildings that are built with big rocks, maschol mibinyin ir, umigdal v'reishe b'shamayim. You see building of a city with so many buildings, and you see towers, to use the lashon of the pasuk in Parshas Noach. They built a tower then in by Deirach Floge that went all the way up to Shamayim, and they carried these very heavy rocks to build up these massive towers. V'hem is the kopela klal, and nobody wonders and nobody asks how this is possible. Ki nasa idei kama v'kama anoshim yachad. So it's many people together are carrying these rocks or whatever other material is needed to build all of these buildings, and that's how it's possible. So it's not even a question when you have such heavy materials to build these buildings, so it's very simple. Many people are doing it together. If so, what's the question over here? Comes to the Mishkan, and the Kroshim have to be put up, and Moshe Rabbeinu can't, no one in Klal Yisrael could do it, so what's the problem? Everybody could do it together. You could have 10 people together, pick up the Keresh at a time, and put up the Mishkan. So when Chazal say in our case, nobody could lift up these Kroshim because they're so heavy. No one could stand them up. Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that stands it up. And the Gamzeh, and even this, is rak nireke. It only seemed that he put it up. Really, the Eibishter put it up. What's the pshat in this? Hadig bezeh shum odom. The Medrash, the Chazal are here telling you there's no one individual, if he wants to do it alone, he can. There's nobody who was able to do it. Yechidi. To do it by yourself. That's impossible. Shekain hoyet tzarich liyos b'yom hashmini. This is what was special about the Shmini Lamiluim, that the Mishkan had to be put up by one person alone to show this special koyach that he's going to be able to put up the Mishkan by himself. And it happens with the help of the Eibishter. This is what was unique about Yom HaShmini Lamiluim. And that's Lagabi this, to be able to be put up the Mishkan on its own. This, the Medrash says, nobody in Klal Yisrael was able to do it on his own besides Moshe Rabbeinu with the help of the Eibishter. Which is not the case when it comes to all of the Shivas Miluim. Sheikimu kama v'kama b'yachad. Many people together put up the Mishkan every day, together with Moshe Rabbeinu. So it's no question. The question that I've asked in the beginning of the Sikha, how was it possible to put it up in the Shivas Miluim, is not a shayla. In the Shivas Miluim, everybody put it up together. Adarabah, the shayla is, what's the problem to put it up? Why on the Yom HaShmini and Rosh Chodesh is there even a problem to put it up? Why can't everybody put it up together? Elamai, because the day is a special day, and therefore the Mishkan has to be put up in a special way, with one person, with the help of the Eibishter. That's the Chiddush of Chazal, that because of the specialty of this day, it was done through Moshe Rabbeinu alone, together with the help of the Eibishter. Another point now that Rebbe adds, now that Rebbe Bavarin's here, do we find anywhere befedish such a thing that it says that Moshe Rabbeinu has to put it up on his own? Did it say any tzivui that he has to do it by himself? It's mashma so in the lashon of the Medrash, she'ein koyach shum adam, no individual was able to put it up on his own. But how did Moshe Rabbeinu know this? Where did he take the fact that he has to put it up on his own? Maybe he should have just gotten help from everybody else. So Beis, the second point that Rebbe here says, Av shaloi metzinu tzivui shetzarich liyas hakamosei rishayna b'yachid. We don't find anywhere that there should be any command that it should say that the first time the Mishkan is put up, Moshe Rabbeinu has to do it by himself. And the Rebbe is emphasizing Yerishayna because this is as opposed to all the other times when the Mishkan was put up, besides what the Rebbe just mentioned in the Shivas Miluim, it was put up together with people helping each other. Also, every time the Yidden traveled and the Leviim took down the Mishkan and put up the Mishkan, how did they do it? They did it together. All the Leviim did it together. But the first time it was put up, it had to be done, Moshe Rabbeinu, or one person by himself. Do we find anywhere a command, befedish, that it has to be done this way? No, we don't. But harei, kama v'kama tzivuyim, there are many or a few mitzvahs that we find. We know of these mitzvahs that they were commanded to do it this way. Only based on the sipur of the way the Torah describes what happened, that this is what they did b'poil, we know that they had a mitzvah. Not always is the Torah say b'feidish the mitzvah that they got, how to do every specific thing. From the way the story happens and the way they did it, we know that they had a tzivui to do it this way. And there's a few examples for this. There's a Sikh in Chelek Yud Gimel, which we will in Mitzvah Hashem learn, and not long from now, where the Rabbi brings examples and explains this. And the Rabbi brings over here an example from the building of the Mishkan itself, or b'parsha Seilu Atzman, bringing an example right over here from the parsha of the Mishkan. Nimtzu kama v'kama protim ba'asiyas ha-Mishkan. You find a few details when it comes to the actual building of the Mishkan, which it speaks about in Vayakal and Pekudei, shalei nimtzu ba'tzivei aleim, which you don't find in the command originally in Parshas Truma or Tetzaveh. And there's also certain details which seem to be contradictory details that it says in how the Mishkan or the Beis HaMikdash or the Big Day Kohuna were actually made seem to be a contradiction to the way that Tzivi was in the beginning. And Rashi brings this regarding the tzitz. The way the Torah describes the tzitz in the Tzivui in Parshas Tetzaveh and the way it describes it in Parshas Pekudei is not the same. Hikshesi, but Rashi says, I ask this question. Over here in Parshas Pekudei it describes the tzitz in one way. And regarding the tzivui, it describes it differently. So we see that the Torah, when it comes to the actual building of the Mishkan and making the begadim, it's not exactly the same necessarily. There's certain changes from the way it says it l'chatchila. Elamai, from the way things were made b'poil, the Torah clarifies certain details that wasn't said b'feidish in the tzivui. But if that's what the Torah says, this is what they did b'poil, it must be that this was part of the tzivui as well, although it never said it b'feidish that they should do it this way. So al derech so over here, although we don't find anywhere in the Torah that it says b'feidish that the tzivui is that it should be done by one person on a Chodesh Nisan, but if that's what happened, and Moshe Rabbeinu put it up himself, and the Medrash says that he had a difficulty putting it up himself, and the Eibishter put it up with him, so from this story we know that they had this mitzvah to put it up himself. V'oid yesh leima. Now the Rebbe goes a step further and says that maybe we could find this in a tzivui b'feidish, that it should be done by one person alone. Shezeu pirish ha-tzivui. This is the pshat of the command that they had, that Moshe Rabbeinu was commanded to put up the Mishkan. V'hakemoisa, you should put up the Mishkan. Lashon Yochid, using a singular term. As ha-Mishkan k'mishpatai asher har eisa, which you were shown, which is rak Moshe bahar. So the Torah here says, Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that's going to put up the Mishkan, him alone. Lepirish Rashi kanal, shemedabe b'kamasai b'rish chodesh Nisan. According to Rashi's pshat, the Ramban says this pasuk is talking about the Shiva Simei Meluim. But according to Rashi's pshat, this pasuk is talking about Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So right over here we can see in the lashon of the pasuk that it's talking to Moshe and that he alone should put up the Mishkan. This is also the exact words that Rashi says on that pasuk, Mishkan. So Rashi there says, Sha'ani, that I, Yochid, the Eibishter himself, Asid l'lametcha, I will teach you, ulahar oischa, and show you the bepashtos. Pirushay, what's the simple pshat over here? Sha'akadosh baruch hu kavayachol, that the Eibishter himself, heikim ba'atzmai, he, the Eibishter himself, put up the Mishkan, and the Eibishter shows him, ubeseder hakamasai, the Eibishter shows him, this is the lashon of Rashi. So let's read it again without the parentheses. Shani asid l'lametcha ulahar oischa, seder hakamasai. The Eibishter himself is going to show Moshe Rabbeinu the seder of putting up the Mishkan. And the Eibishter puts up the Mishkan together with him. What is the meaning of these words of Rashi? Seder hakamasai. Does that mean that Moshe Rabbeinu has to put it up by himself? L'chayri yikatayich, Seder hakamasai means the Seder, the order of how it's going to be put up. I'm going to show you what comes first, what comes next, and so on. But the Rebbe says, no, that's not the pshat in the words, Seder hakamasai. Seder hakamasai means, Shaharei Seder pirushai, the meaning of the word Seder many times is Leira kakdima ve'ichur. It doesn't only mean the order of what comes first and what comes second. Elogam, rather, it also many times means Protei ha'inyin b'chlal. I'm going to show you the details of what has to be done over here. So over here as well, the Eibusher says, I will show you and also assist Moshe Rabbeinu in putting up the Mishkan, the details of putting up the Mishkan, of course, including the Krashim. So therefore, we can see from this Rashi here that this is the Eibusher speaking directly to Moshe and telling Moshe Rabbeinu, I am showing you, and we're going to do it together, the details of putting up the Mishkan. So we can see here that Rashi learns that this was the tzivui, that Moshe Rabbeinu should do it himself. The Rebbe brings an example for this pshat of the word Seder, that Seder doesn't just mean that the Eibusher showed Moshe Rabbeinu the order of what comes first and what comes second, but Seder means the details of putting up the Mishkan. U'kamai, coming to Pesach now, Seder Haggadah. The expression that it says when in the Haggadah, regarding the Haggadah, that you have the Seder in the Haggadah, the Seder night, or the Seder Haggadah, Chayetze B'zeh, it doesn't just mean Seder, what comes first, what comes next, and so on. It means all the details of the night that are in the Haggadah. Chayetze B'zeh, and so on, Pashut, and it's obvious, it's clear that you could explain the word Seder to mean this way, and that's what Rashi means here. So this is the conclusion of the Rebbe's answer to his question in the beginning of the Sikha. How could Moshe Rabbeinu put up the Mishkan in the Shivas Yimei Miluim if we see that he had a problem putting it up on Rosh Chodesh Nisan? So basically the answer of the Rebbe is, the question is the other way around. Why Bechlal is it a Pele why, that he couldn't put it up on Rosh Chodesh Nisan? Why was there a problem in the first place? When you build, many people are helping each other and building together. It's obvious that that's the way it's done. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu putting it up on his own? So Fakat, B'negei to Shivas Yimei Miluim, it's obvious that that's what he did. On Rosh Chodesh Nisan, because of the greatness of the day, the Asheras HaShechina of the day is not less Torais, so there was a special tzivui that the Mishkan should be put up by Moshe Rabbeinu alone. It was put up by Moshe Rabbeinu alone, and the Eibusher helped him, and really the Eibusher put it up, and it looked like Moshe Rabbeinu put it up, and that's the unique thing that happened on this day. Otherwise, they always put it up, whenever they traveled, they always put it up. The Leviim, they helped each other put up and take down the Mishkan. Now the Rebbe will continue here and explain the pshat of Chassidus Yeina Shel Torah that we see in this Rashi. Yeina Shel Torah Asher B'Pirish Rashi Yidua B'Inyan Sarusa de L'Sata V'Sarusa de L'Eila. It's known regarding the Sarusa de L'Sata, the Aveda that a person does from below, the Sarusa de L'Eila, and a revelation that comes from above. And here parenthetically the Rebbe brings Sarusa de L'Eila Beis Dargis. When it comes to a Sarusa de L'Eila, there are two general levels. Haba Yideh Sarusa de L'Sata, which comes following in a Sarusa de L'Sata. The Shalamaylam is Sarusa de L'Sata. Then there is an Sarusa de L'Eila that's completely above in a Sarusa de L'Sata, completely removed and higher than a Sarusa de L'Sata. Sha'af shehem be'ena reich zelazeh. These two levels of a Sarusa de L'Eila are very, very different, or infinitely different one from another. But yesh tzad hashava b'neiim. There is a tzad hashava, there is a common denominator. They're both coming from above. They're both a revelation that comes from above. Ve'en kamakaima. Here's not the place to discuss this at length. So the Rebbe now is going to explain, b'kitzer, what's the difference between a Sarusa de L'Sata and the Sarusa de L'Eila, the relative advantages of one over the other. Sheyesh Yisra Maila b'kol echad mehem. There is an advantage in each one of them. Hayisrain be'asarusa de L'Eila, the advantage of a revelation that comes from above. Husha'ir hanimshach hu Maila Yisa. The revelation that comes from above, comes from the Eibusher, being unlimited, is a greater revelation. Since it comes from above, it's much more powerful than anything that a person could accomplish or generate through his Aveda below. That's the Maila of Asarusa de L'Eila. The advantage of the Aveda that a person does below, because this is something that the person works on from below, so here the refinement that happens within the person below is much stronger, is much more powerful. The revelation that's generated through Nesarusa de L'Sata is much less powerful than a revelation that comes from above. This is based on the actions of a nivra, of a creation of a person below, so it's much more limited. It doesn't have the same power as a revelation that comes from above. But because of the novelty of the mata working on his own from below, the Aveda that's done from below has a special love that the Eibishter has to this. There's a special cherishing that the Eibishter cherishes this avodah that's done from below. Achvivus miyachedes. So besides the point that the Rebbe says before, that there's a zicho chamata, that the maila here is that the mata, the person, the entity below, is being refined, there's also a special chvivus to this. There's a novelty to this kind of avodah, that the person is taking matters into his own hand and working on himself, even when it's difficult, even when there's no gilui mul maila. So this chiddush itself has a special chvivus. Va'ad, and then in the words of Chazal, Asher Adam reitzet bekav shaloi, a person would rather wants a kav of his own. A kav is a certain measurement. He wants a smaller measurement, but it's his own accomplishment, something that he worked on his own. Mitisha kav shachaveiroi, more than 9 kavim, 9 times more of something that someone else will grant him for free without any work on his own. Something that's yours, that you worked on, is much more beloved to you and much more tired, much more special and precious to the person because he worked on it. So these are the relative advantages of a Sarusa de La'ela versus a Sarusa de L'Sata. So now coming back to the Mishkan. This is the difference between the Mishkan being put up for the 7 days of the Shivas Yimei Miluim and when it was put up on the Chodesh Nisan. On those 7 days, it was put up not less than 7 times. You didn't have mamash at tzivi mefurish, or the Rebbe stresses the word mefurish, that, going here according to the opinion of Rashi, that there was no clear tzivui to put up the Mishkan in these 7 days, although Moshe Rabbeinu understood that this is what the Eibishter wants. He understood from this that the Eibishter told him. There is a special chavivus in the Mishkan being put up in these days, that it's avodah samata. This is Moshe Rabbeinu understanding on his own what has to be done and doing the avodah, putting up the Mishkan without having the tzivi from the Eibishter. That's the avodah on all the 7 days of Shivas Yimei Miluim. Ulam, however, it does not become a Mishkan. The word Mishkan means that it's a place where Hashem dwells in it. The revelation of above, that great revelation that comes, that could only come from above, that didn't take place yet. But then on the 8th day, Chodesh Nisan, Sha'oz Hukam Mitzad Tzivoy Mefurish V'Gilui Mul Maila. On the 8th day, when there was a clear command and there was a revelation from above. That's when the Mishkan is built, and that's when the Shechina dwells. That's the Gilui, that's the Sarusa de La'ela. The Shivas Yimei Miluim is the Aveda, the Sarusa de L'Sata, and on a Chodesh Nisan, there's a revelation that comes from above. The Gamla Das Ramban, even according to the Ramban, that disagrees and says that they did have a mitzvah to put it up in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, but there's still a difference. The objective then, though, even though there was a mitzvah, but the main objective was to train the Kohanim, to be mechanech them in their avodah, which the focus here is on the avodas hamata, on training them in their avodah. There's no kviz yet, there's no permanence in bringing the Shechina down in the Mishkan. So even according to the Ramban, the real Sarusa de La'ela that comes from above does not take place yet to the fullest extent in the Shivas Yimei Miluim, and it only takes place on a Chodesh Nisan. Then there's the Gilui Mul Maila Lamata. So coming back to the point that we said before, regarding putting up the Mishkan, the difference between the Shivas Yimei Miluim, that it was put up, many people together helped each other to put up the Mishkan, and they had no issue putting up the heavy kroshim. And when it came to the Chodesh Nisan, that Moshe Rabbeinu had to put it up on his own. Based on this we could understand, on the Chodesh Nisan, the Mishkan was put up, May Elov. Nobody can put it up. Moshe Rabbeinu puts it up, or really he just busies himself with his hands. And the Eibishter is the one that puts up the Mishkan on a Chodesh Nisan. On the rest of the Shivas Yimei Miluim, Moshe Rabbeinu puts up the Mishkan, B'tziruf Oidin B'nei Yisrael, perhaps with the combination of other people helping him, Es HaMishkan B'chol Yom, every single day. Ki B'chol Shivas Yimei Miluim Hayomim. So now based on what we learned before, we could understand this. Chol Shivas Hayomim, all the other 7 days, Hoysa HaKama, Rak B'B'chinas HaChana. This was just as a preparation for the revelation that's about to happen on the 8th day. Avodas Hamata. This is the Sarusa de Lasata. This is the Avodah from below. Only later comes the dwelling of the Eibusher in the Mishkan. This preparation of these 7 days has to and is with the kayach of what the people can do from below, whatever they can put up on their own, and they have to work together to putting up the Mishkan without the kayach of the Eibusher. On the 8th day on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, so then there's the day when you're making a Mishkan, not just for the purpose of Chinuch, but this is the making of the Mishkan, putting up the Mishkan for the Shechina to come down. Asiyas Mishkan Ashras Ashchina B'Paya, when the Shechina will dwell. This cannot be, the Mishkan cannot be put up through the kayach of any human being here below. This is something that comes from above through Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu puts up the Mishkan, or it appears that he's putting up the Mishkan, and the Eibusher is putting up the Mishkan. The Gilui on the 8th day is a Gilui that comes from the infinite revelation from the Eibusher above, that's completely beyond the Avodah of the Mata. So this explains the difference between the Shivas Yimei Miluim, which is an Asarusa de Lasata, and the Yom HaShmini, which is an Asarusa de Le'ela. The Rebbe now in the brackets here will explain in more detail of the process, starting from the Nidvas HaMishkan until the actual putting up of the Mishkan. V'hinei, b'chtei sheb'yom Rosh Chodesh Nisan yukam HaMishkan. In order that we should come to this day of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, when the Mishkan is being put up, v'tishra Shechina b'ofen pnimi, and the Shechina should dwell in an internal way, shelazet tzarich li zichuch hamakabel. So the person has to be a keli for this. The person has to be refined to be able to accept and take the Shechina and a Pnimi is the way. And the Shechina dwells not only in the structure of the Mishkan, but kol echad v'echad mi'Yisrael, to dwell within every single Yid. K'mayim Razal, as we know, Chazal tell us, b'soicham, that the Shechina dwells within every single Yid. Hoyet tzarich liyas nidvas leiv, kol echad v'echad mi'Yisrael ha'Mishkan. The first thing is the nidvas leiv, the generosity, that all Yidden had to participate and give from what they had for the Mishkan. That's the first step. Then the Chachmelev, the wise amongst Klal Yisrael that built the Mishkan. That's the second step. And once the Malacha is done, Havas HaMishkan al Moshe. You have to bring everything of the Mishkan that was prepared and ready. Who do you bring it to? To Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe, why to Moshe? He's the intermediary, and he's the intermediary that connects Ben HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael between Yidden and the Eibusher, as the pasuk says, he stands between the Eibusher and the Yidden. So Moshe Rabbeinu was able to busy himself with his hands and put up the Mishkan. Then so through there has to be the Avodah of Yidden, there has to be a Zichuch HaMata, the generosity of Klal Yisrael, the involvement, the Chachmei Leiv. But after everything is said and done, the Avodah HaMata on his own, it's not going to make it happen. You have to bring it to Moshe Rabbeinu. And then Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that could put up the Mishkan. And this as well, the actual putting up of the Mishkan through Moshe Rabbeinu busying himself with his hands, has to come milmaila, happens on its own from a kayach from above. Esarusa de leila. Shalamaila mi esarusa de lasata. Completely above in esarusa de lasata. So this ends the Chelek of the Sikha that discusses apichsidis, what's the difference between the Shivas Yimei Miluim and more in general, all the preparations that was done mitzad mata to building the Mishkan, and the Gilui that happens on a Chodesh that comes milmaila lamata. Now, the Rebbe brings this to a different inyan, b'negeya to the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi. A machlokes b'negeya to the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi, whether it's going to be built from below, or whether it's going to be nizgala, it's going to be revealed min hashamayim. Al-pi anal b'das ha-medrash v'das Rashi, based on what we just explained, according to the Medrash and Rashi, yesh loima she'ozlu b'zel shitasayu, they are following their opinion regarding the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi. The sviru lahu, they both hold, the mikdash de la'asid, shonu mitzapin, the future Beis HaMikdash, which we are all waiting for, banu yumeshuchlatu. It's built, it's all ready. And Yegale v'yavai mishamayim. It's going to come down and be revealed from heaven. Shanema mikdash Hashem kainenu yadecha. The mikdash of the Eibusher is all prepared and built by the Eibusher's hands from above. Shitazu. So now what's the pshat in this opinion? Although there's a great advantage and a great novelty in the Aveda of a person below, as the Rabbi brought before, the Aveda Samata has a very big advantage. But at the same time though, the dwelling of Hashem's presence, to have the bli gvul, the infinite presence of Hashem come down and dwell, that comes from above. It comes from above, which is completely removed and higher than anything that a person's actions below can reach. And therefore, as we find by the Mishkan as well, even after all the great advantage of the Avodah done for a week in the Shivas Yemei Milum, that they put up the Mishkan many times, but to put up the Mishkan, that the Shechina should dwell there, this has to happen from its own, from above, that it comes down. So the same thing is also La'asad Lava in the third Beis HaMikdash. The same is also La'asad Lava. The binyan will not be al yidei Adam, through the hands of a human being. It's going to be revealed and it's going to come from above, like it was by the Mishkan the first time. This is Rashi's opinion. Now the Rebbe says, however, the Rambam disagrees. The Rambam holds that Mashiach is going to build the Beis HaMikdash. The Beis HaMikdash is going to build here below. Rambam the Svirele, the Mashiach Yivne Beis HaMikdash, as the Rambam clearly says in Hilchas Malachim, the Yivne Mikdash B'Kaimai, that Mashiach is going to build the Beis HaMikdash. So Gam Hu Azal Shitase, the Rambam also is following his opinion regarding the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash in general, B'Mailas Avodas Hamata, in the advantage, focusing on the advantage that there is in the Avodah below, over the revelation that comes from above. That we see the opinion of the Rambam regarding the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash. And here the Rebbe brings in what we learned a couple of weeks ago in Parshas Teruma, and it's in the same Fabrengen where the Rebbe discussed this, the opinion of the Rambam regarding what the mitzvah of building the Mishkan is. This is based on what we already learned and explained. When it comes to the Beis HaMikdash and the Mishkan, there are two general things here. Aleph, Menuchas v'Ashras HaShchina, the dwelling of the Shechina on the Mishkan, Shahaisa Behem, which was in the Mishkan, Ukmaishanema v'Asili Mikdash. What's the point of building the Mishkan? B'chdei she'yeh v'shechanti b'seicham, to make a place for a dwelling for Hashem. That's one aspect of the Mishkan. Beis, the second point is Ha'aveda Nasas Behem, the Aveda, the Karbanis, and all the other Aveda that's done inside the Mishkan. Shebe'ikra hi Avedas HaKarbanis v'Aliyah L'Regel b'Shalosh Regalim, which the Rambam mentions at the beginning of Hilchas Beis HaBchira, the Aveda of Karbanis and the Aliyah L'Regel, that they came 3 times a year to the Beis HaMikdash. So Hine L'Das HaRambam, as we already learned, what's the opinion of the Rambam? Which one of these two is the main objective and mitzvah of building the Mishkan? The main point of building the Mishkan is the second aspect, Avodas Hamata, the Avodah that's done below. As the Rambam says, Shiyelonu Bayis, we should have a home, Muchan Lahakriv by Karbanis, prepared to be able to bring Karbanis, and V'chayi Yinel of Gimel Pama Bashana, and to celebrate there on Yom Tovim 3 times a year. So the Rambam makes it clear that the main Avodah, the main idea of the building of the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash as well, is the Avodah done in it. So this is the same that the Rambam holds regarding the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi as well. So the reason why the Rambam holds that the main advantage and the main purpose is the Avodah below. Although the advantage that there is with the level of the Shechina that comes down from above, it can't be compared to anything that a person generates and does from below. As far as the level of the revelation, what comes from above is much greater than what a person accomplishes from below. Yet on the other hand, as we already said before, there still is a great advantage to the Avodah below. It's a smaller measurement. This is your Avodah, this is the Avodah here below. And there's a special chvivus, there's a special mila to this Avodah. When the Eibishter commands to build a Mishkan and Mikdash, that's what the Eibishter is focusing on. Well, what we have to do here below. The Eibishter is commanding, and the focus is on what we have to do. The Shechina that's going to come true, that's much greater, but that packet comes milmaila. That's something that's on the Eibishter's part. He will do that on his own. When the Eibishter speaks to Yidden and gives a mitzvah, the Eibishter is telling us what's relevant to us, and he's saying that you do the mitzvah to build the Mishkan and you do all the Avodah because that's the great advantage that I'm giving you on the Avodah below, the novelty of the Avodah below. And therefore this novelty and this maila will be lost lavoi as well. Gam lost lavoi, Mashiach yivna mikdash. Mashiach will build a base of mikdash. It will be this maila of the avodah coming from below. So we see here how the Rambam follows his opinion and Rashi follows his opinion regarding the Mishkan, that it was hukam me'elov, and so to lost lavoi it will be coming mizgala v'yavim min hashemayim. However, move on, it's understood, Shegam L'das HaMedrash v'Rashi. Coming back to the Medrash and Rashi that say that both the Mishkan happened from above and L'asad Lavoi, the Beis HaMikdash will come down from above. Yesh Yisrael ve'ildoi ba'avodas v'zicha chamata. Rashi and the Medrash will also agree that there's a great advantage to the refinement process and the preparation and the avodah that's done from below. Umitam zeh ha'yet tzarich liyas kanal, and therefore, even according to Rashi, what was necessary to have avodas kol echad v'echad miYisrael b'nidvas HaMishkan v'avodas kol chach mi'lev b'mleches HaMishkan. There was the preparation, the months and months of preparation, the nidavis and the building of the Mishkan. That all is the avodah that's come from below. Elo, however, Rashi's opinion is shekol zeh hu v'ha'achana. This is all just a preparation. The actual putting up of the Mishkan on a Chodesh Nisan, that's not in reach, that's not in the possibility of the Avodah of Yidden. You also need the preparation of the Shivas Yimei Meluim, which is the Avodah from the people below. And then Kedei sheyuchaliyas hashras hashchina b'reish chodesh Nisan be'esarusa d'leila. Then comes the hashras hashchina, the real presence of the Shechina coming down in a permanent way on a chodesh Nisan canal, as we explained before. So those are the two stages. Even according to Rashi, you have both. You have the avodas hamata, which is the preparation, which has different aspects to that preparation, and then comes the final amshacha of the Shechina mulmaila, which happens on a chodesh Nisan. The lesson, a very powerful lesson that we take of all of this. Aleph. Number one, Reishis, in the beginning, the first thing is everybody has to do his part here from below. Everyone has to do the mitzvahs, the Torah and mitzvahs on his own koyach, with his own avodah here below. However, all of ladas, you have to know the following. This is all just a preparation. Whatever you do, you have to connect and bring to Moshe, to know that you're just a creation here below. And whatever you do, your koyach is limited. And you have to connect that to Lamaila, because it's only a preparation to generate the Hamshacha that's going to come Lamaila. There's the Moshe within every person. And also bring all of your Avodah and connect it to the Moshe of the generation. The Chachmei Adoir and the eyes of the congregation, which refers to the Moshe Rabbeinu. It's the Moshe of the generation. He has the power to draw down and bring the Shechina in the nefesh of every single Yid, and bringing it from above, which is infinitely greater than anything that you're doing with your own kayach from below. That's the first point. So there has to be an Avodah from below, but you have to connect everything. Everything should be guided and connected to the Rebbe, which brings down the Hamshach in the person much more than what the person is doing on his own. But then comes the second point. Le'idach, on the other hand, kashematziim, and very practically speaking, kashematziim shlichus. When a shlichus is being suggested and offered to somebody, to go and travel on a shlichus, to take up a position, to go and spread Yiddishkeit and spread Chassidus somewhere. Gam mekimim es mishkan. This is also a form of putting up a mishkan, of creating a mishkan, a dwelling for the Eibishter, in a place that you'll go. Shebekol echad ve'echad, within every single person, mi'ele shemashpiyim aleim, that you are influencing and having a connection to in the place that you're going to go on a shlichus. Yitachen sheyachshav, a person may think to himself, shelefi matzavei b'hoiveh, based on the condition, assessing myself, the condition that I'm in, this hayra, this suggestion to go on shlichus and go and spread Yiddishkeit and chassidus, it's not for me. I'm not ready for this. But tanosai, and he has the following claim. No, after all, I'm part of the wise nation, and I'm a wise individual, and I can think for myself. And therefore, my conduct should be as following. To think over every matter, and then, if I'll comprehend it, and it'll resonate with me, and I'll get this, and I'll feel that I'm up to it, so then I'll do it. I don't want to just do it because I'm being told and I'm being asked. I want to wait and think it over and understand it, and when I'll be ready, okay, then I'll be ready to go. And in my current matziv, this shlichus that's being offered to me to go and spread chassidus outward, this is something which is just makif, it's hovering, it's not something which I personally connect to, I don't feel it yet, I'm not connected to this. I don't connect and feel this b'pnimius in my mind. At this point, what do I have to do? I should still harve and sit for myself and learn Torah, and especially to learn more chassidus for myself. When the time will come, when I'll become elevated and inspired, and it'll resonate in my mind, that it's time, and I feel that it's ready for me to go and spread chassidus to others, then I'll accept the shlichus, and then I'll do it in the real way. Then I'll do it in the pnimistic way. I'll be ready, and I'll feel it, and I'll be able to do it much better. That's what a person may say to himself. So here comes the lesson from the way things happen when the Mishkan is built. This is not the way it happens. It's not that a person has to be ready and feel it, that he's the one that's doing it. Avodas hamata. The avodah, the preparation that has to be done from below, in order for the Mishkan to be put up on its own from above, that it should come to the shleimus of what happened, that the Shechina dwells in your hands. You bring this to the Moshe shebenafshay. You have to realize that you have to go out of yourself. You have to connect yourself to the Moshe inside of you, and through this to the Moshe and the generation. You have to step away from yourself and listen to what Moshe Rabbeinu is offering you and telling you that now it's the time to go on a shlichus. So you have to step away from your own aveda and open yourself up to that. And if not for this, if you don't do this, you'll continue. You're going to say, I need time. I need to work on myself. I need to perfect myself. You may want to continue working on perfecting the Mishkan in your nefesh. This is like the Mishkan that's being put up for 7 days in the Yimei Miluim, Kanal Barichus. That alone will not do it. That's just a preparation. If you're going to stay by that, you won't have the Ashras HaShechina. If the person is going to say, I want to learn more for myself and I want to perfect myself and stay within yourself and not connect to the Moshe and listen to what he's telling you to do, you're never going to finish. You're never going to be connected. The Dafka and Dafka by bringing yourself and bringing all of yourself and and dedicating yourself and giving yourself completely over to the Einei Ha'eda, which is to the Moshe Shebechol the Moshe and the generation, and in our case, fulfilling the shlichus of the Rebbe, to spread chassidus outward. So then, nivnega mishkan shaloi. Not only are you going to be fulfilling what the Rebbe wants of you, and you're bringing the ashras hashchina, this itself will also bring the perfection to yourself as well. You'll be able to build your own mishkan. Iloi v'shleimus, this brings a greater perfection and a much higher level. Avedasa b'koyach atzmai b'teira, mitzvahs and tefillah, and your aveda that you do on your own with teira and mitzvahs and davening. And then, tisha shchina b'maisi yodov. Even your actions and even your Aveda, the Shechina will dwell there. And through this Aveda of spreading the wellsprings of Chassidus outward, Mashiach will arrive speedily in our days.